Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Nerdy Movie News Roundup, the show where we round up the biggest news of the week in the world of nerdy movies. So, for our first story today, we're going to be talking about Argyle. This is coming from Variety. Kingsman director Matthew Vaughn has signed up an all-star cast for his new film franchise Argyle, which will be produced by Vaughn's UK-based studio Marv. Henry Cavill, Man of Steel, Sam Rockwell, Moon, Bryce Dallas Howard, Jurassic World, Bryan Cranston, Breaking Bad, Catherine O'Hara, Schitt's Creek, John Cena, Bumblebee, and Samuel L. Jackson, Avengers Endgame, are all set to appear in the spy thriller. Marv is already planning at least 3 films in the franchise, which is based on a debut novel of the same name by first-time author Ellie Conway. The film and book will follow the globe-trotting adventures of a super spy named Argyle across the U.S., London, and other exotic locations. Pop singer Dua Lipa will provide music for the title track and score, as well as making her acting debut in the film. So, this is a pretty interesting story. Matthew Vaughn, he previously directed the 2 Kingsman movies, and I absolutely adore the first Kingsman movie, and I kind of hate the second Kingsman movie. So, when Matthew Vaughn is at the top of his game, his spy movies are really great. Well, he's only done 2, but he's one. He has a he has a kind of a hit or miss record at the moment, I guess. But I mean, if he can make a spy movie that's on the level of the first Kingsman movie, then this will probably be great. Although I would imagine that this is probably going to be a more serious spy movie in the vein of a James Bond, and not so much like a kind of insane, hyper level sort of thing that Kingsman was. But I mean, yeah, this could be great. It has an all-star cast. Of course, the cast doesn't really mean much. If the script isn't good, if the direction isn't good, then it doesn't really mean much. But good cast. Good director. When he's really good, he's really good. So we'll see where this goes. Our second story today is The Witcher released a trailer for Season 2. Now, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I did not finish the first season of The Witcher because I was not really liking it. I don't know. Everybody loves it. I just watched it. I started watching it, and I just thought it was kind of boring. When the guy came out and started singing the song, I was like, what am I even watching? Why is this guy singing? Why does it sound like some random pop singer? Like, it reminded me of when Ed Sheeran came out and started singing in that season of Game of Thrones. It was like, what is this? I don't know. I've never played the games either, so I'm not a huge fan of The Witcher, but people love it. They released a trailer for Season 2. It looks fine. It looks like more of The Witcher. So if you like The Witcher, then you're probably excited about this and you thought the trailer was amazing. But for me, I was like, I don't know. It's The Witcher. So I don't mean to be a negative Nancy, so I'm just going to move on to the next story. Next story, Black Widow has made millions of dollars. So this is actually a really interesting story. So at the domestic box office, Black Widow has made $80 million in 46 other territories. And by the way, this is in its opening weekend. At this point, it's probably made more, but it hasn't really been reported yet. And it's made $78 million in 46 other territories. And it made $60 million on Disney Plus. So globally, it's currently it's made $218 million. It's probably made a bit more. I'm recording this on Thursday, so it's going into its next weekend. So, but roughly $218 million it's made globally so far. So, a couple interesting notes about this. So, it's $80 million and it's in the domestic box office means that it's officially broken the record set by Fast 9, which I think Fast 9 made like 70 million or 60 million in its opening weekend, which was the highest opening weekend box office since the pandemic has started. Now Black Widow has beat that record. So it basically just means that the theaters are alive and they're healthy again. And, this would have been a good performance for a Black Widow movie even before the pandemic. But The other really interesting note is that $60 million Disney Plus number. Now, we know it's $60 million because Disney told us, which is really interesting because for the other Disney Plus releases like Mulan, Raya and the Last Dragon, and Cruella, Disney did not tell us the numbers for how much money it's made. Probably because they probably didn't make much, but Black Widow did. So I've kind of been of the opinion that that the premiere access like thing on Disney Plus where you can, pay $30 and get the movie. I've kind of been of the opinion that probably didn't work. It's probably hasn't been successful, and the main reason for that is because they didn't give us the numbers. But this number probably breathed some life into that. So I don't know. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and say that like, oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be a success and they're gonna keep doing it forever, because at the end of the day, the first 3 movies were probably failures, and now we have one movie that actually has made some money on Disney Plus. But then again, this is a fucking Marvel movie, so if you need it to be a Marvel movie for it to make money, then it's probably not a good sign for the offering. But at the end of the day, this is good for the service, and it does breathe life into that idea. So we're going to have to wait and see how some other movies do. But as of right now, this is good for the Disney Plus Premier Access thing. And also, I guess, good for Black Widow because it's made a bunch of money. So that's good as well. Next story. There's a Black Adam set photo. The Rock posted this to his Instagram. It looks cool, I guess. He's like on a soundstage or something. There are buildings that have fallen down. I don't know if he knocked them down or if his enemies knocked them down, or if it's like in Man of Steel where everybody participated in knocking down the city. I don't know. But I thought I would just read the Instagram post. So this is his Instagram post. This image of Black Adam from behind gives you a tactile sense of the absolute massive scale and size of our movie. I don't know if it really does that because it kind of just looks like a soundstage, but okay. You also see a little of the intricate and beautiful texture detail of Black Adam's bodysuit. This is not your typical DC or Marvel padded muscle suit. I don't know. It just kind of looks like a suit to me. Okay. Although, I mean, it is nice to know that those are going to be his actual muscles, that they're not going to like pad them up. That's actually pretty cool. And finally, you get a glimpse of the enormous and appropriate destruction. I guess. I don't know. It just looks like a superhero movie. As we all know, superheroes have a code of justice and don't kill the bad guys. Yes, they do. Virtually all of them in Marvel and DC, with the exception of like Spider-Man, maybe. I don't know what that's I don't know what that's about. But Black Adam does. The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is changing. Anti-hero, man in black, protector of his people. Yep, so I don't know. It's the Black Adam movie. The Rock trying hard to sell us on it. Yeah, I don't know. It looks cool. I don't know what he's going on about, how this is like super different from other superhero movies, because it doesn't look all that different. Is it going to be in black and white? Wow. Probably not. So I don't know. I'm excited for Black Adam. It's been like 10 million years since they've announced it, and it's just been in like production hell for all that time. But I'm excited to see it. But it's not really much else to say about it. Next story. Matt Shurkan will be directing the next, or not Shurkan, Shackman will be directing the next Star Trek movie. So I'm reading this from The Hollywood Reporter. WandaVision director Matt Shackman is moving from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to seek well, I don't know what that was. I felt like I was out of breath for a second there. WandaVision director Matt Shackman is moving from the Marvel Cinematic Universe to seek out new life and new civilizations. Hot off his directing Emmy nomination, we'll get to that later, for Disney Plus's WandaVision comes the news that Shackman has signed on to direct a mystery Star Trek movie for Paramount, which has a release date of June 9th, 2023. Shackman is a veteran TV director whose credits include Game of Thrones, The Boys, Succession, Fargo, and It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia. This will be his first feature. Earlier on Tuesday, his series WandaVision captured 23 Emmy nominations, including a directing nom for himself. At this stage, it is unknown if cast members from Abrams' 2009 reboot led by Chris Pine as Captain Kirk will be in the film. So, yeah. Not to be negative again, but I've never been much of a Star Trek guy. I thought that the 2009 reboot and Into Darkness were like fine, but I don't know if like big Star Trek fans would be like they'd probably be like, no, you have to go watch the old movies. Those aren't good. How could you only watch those movies? You need to watch the other ones. But I don't know. Those are the movies that I watched. Please leave me alone. Get away from me. I thought they were fine. I never watched was it Star Trek Beyond, the third one that supposedly I heard was better. But I thought Matt Shurkin did a good job with WandaVision, so this will probably be okay as well. And yeah, it'll be interesting if this is going to be a reboot or if they are going to bring back Chris Pine and all the rest of those guys. But honestly, I feel like at this point, a reboot would probably be better, just because I feel like the franchise has kind of lost some steam. Although maybe it's gaining back steam with the shows on CBS All Access. I'm not sure. I don't know. I feel like at this point, you should probably just reboot it, but we'll just have to see what they do. Next story. Let's talk about the Emmys. A show that I don't know if people even really care about, but we got some news from it. Now, I'm not going to go over everything. Excuse me as I adjust these lights a bit. Sorry about that. So we're not going to talk about everything from the Emmys. There were just some interesting, nerdy stuff that actually got nominated that I thought was interesting. So let's get into this. For the best drama series, we had The Boys and The Mandalorian get announced, or not announced, but nominated for best drama series. That's pretty cool. I think The Boys is a series that is genuinely just really good and probably is deserving of this nomination. I'm a bit iffy on The Mandalorian. I like The Mandalorian quite a bit, but should it get nominated for best series? I don't probably not, but whatever. I'm not gonna whine about it. For best supporting actor in a drama, Giancarlo Esposito actually did get nominated for The Mandalorian. I guess I can't really complain about that one because he was pretty great in it. For best limited series, WandaVision got nominated. Yeah, I would say that's pretty deserving of it. WandaVision was genuinely really good. For best lead actress in a limited series, movie, or anthology, Elizabeth Olsen from WandaVision got nominated. Absolutely, she deserves that. Elizabeth Olsen was incredible in that show. Same goes for Paul Bettany, which also got nominated for WandaVision in the best lead actor in a limited series, movie, or anthology. Yep, he deserves that as well, though. They were absolutely incredible in that show. And also for best supporting actress in a limited series, movie, or anthology, Kathryn Hahn, who played Agatha. It was Agatha all along. She got nominated for WandaVision as well. And okay, here's where we get to the weird one. So for best guest actor in a drama, Carl Weathers and Timothy Olyphant got nominated for The Mandalorian, and yeah, they were pretty good. I'm fine with those nominations. But then Don Cheadle got nominated for The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Now, don't get me wrong. I like the Cheeds. The Cheeds is great. But he was in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier for 98 seconds. And literally all he did was talk to Anthony Mackie. He wasn't bad in it. But really? You're giving him an Emmy nomination? Especially, if you're going to give anybody the guest actor Emmy nomination from that show, give it to the guy who played Isaiah Bradley, the old Black Captain America. That guy was great in the season. Why would you give it to Don Cheadle? That is just so weird. And this is the nomination that to me kind of it kind of cheapens all those other nominations that I just read off, because it makes me feel like they're not actually nominating these things because they genuinely think that they're deserving of it. It makes it feel like all those other nominations were just done because they feel like they need to placate the weird nerds who want their shows validated. And it just feels kind of shitty. Like, I don't know. Like, I repeat, Don Cheadle was in The Falcon and the Winter Soldier for 98 seconds. That one is just iffy. I don't know. But anyways, tell me what you think of the Emmys. Do you care about the Emmys at all? Do you need your nerdy movies and shows to be nominated for awards in order to feel validated? Let me know in the comments down below. Next story, we got a bit of a trailer reaction by Korg and Deadpool. So they did this like skit where they reacted to the Free Guy trailer. Now, I have a bit of a confession to make. I apologize for being negative in this episode, but oh well. I'm kind of sick of Ryan Reynolds. I just find his humor to be kind of grating at this point. Like, his just weird, like, referential humor and his just the way that he delivers the jokes. It's just kind of annoying. I'm not gonna lie. I feel like I'm alone in this, but I don't know. I just find it annoying at this point. But what I do find interesting about this is that this is like the first official Deadpool crossing over into the MCU. Like, this probably isn't like canon or anything like that, but basically, like, the studio executives at Disney, like, they had to give this the okay. You know, they couldn't, because Taika Waititi, I think, is also in the movie, so I think that's how they got that's how this connection was made, and they probably got the idea, like, hey, wouldn't it be fun if Korg and Deadpool reacted to the trailer? But at the end of the day, Disney executives had to say, yeah, sure, you can go ahead and do this. Like, this indicates to me that they are thinking of integrating Deadpool into the MCU in some way. Because I know, like, they already confirmed that they were doing a Deadpool 3, but I don't think they've ever confirmed whether or not it's going to be in the MCU or if it's going to stand on its own. This kind of tells me that, no, they probably are going to integrate Deadpool in the MCU in some way. So let me know what you think of all that. Do you disagree with me about Ryan Reynolds? Please fight me in the comments on that. Next story, we have some Spider-Man No Way Home hot toys. So if you remember last week, there were some Lego images released where if you saw like the artwork on the Lego images, you saw this weird black Spider-Man suit with like the gold webbing and like the weird blue circle on his chest. Well, now we have some hot toys that give us a better idea as to what this suit looks like. So this is weird to me because if you look at it, the forearms look like the Far From Home suit, like the red and black suit. That's what the forearms look to me. And then everything else has this like weird black and gold thing. I don't know. It looks kind of weird to me just with the two different color schemes, but I guess I'll be interested to see what this is. Like, I wonder like what's going to happen then he gets this suit and then what it all has to do with this weird like arc reactor looking thing, and he's shooting out like this like blue jizz out here with like the other more arc reactors. Although I suspect that because we saw in the box art, I don't know, have they like come out and confirmed that Doctor Strange is going to be in this movie? But we saw in the box art that they're going to be in the Sanctum Sanctorum at some point, and Doctor Strange and Wong are going to show up. So I mean, I wonder if we're going to see Doctor Strange give him like magic powers, or if he's going to like teach Peter magic. It'll be interesting to see how this all works out. But it's all very interesting. And oh yeah, in this picture we see that he has like a gauntlet thing, so that seems like where his magic is going to shoot out. I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens here, but just give us the trailer, Marvel. Kevin, are you watching this, Kevin? Give us the trailer. We need it, Kevin. Give it to us. But whatever. Next story. Netflix is apparently going to be getting into the gaming industry. So, I'm reading this from Bloomberg. Netflix Incorporated, marking its first big move beyond TV shows and films, is planning an expansion into video games and has hired a former Electronic Arts Incorporated and Facebook Incorporated executive to lead the effort. Mike Verdu will join Netflix as Vice President of Game Development, reporting to Chief Operating Officer Greg Peters, the company said on Wednesday. Verdu was previously Facebook's vice president in charge of working with developers to bring games and other content to Oculus virtual reality headsets. The idea is to offer video games on Netflix's streaming platform within the next year, according to a person familiar with the situation. The games will appear alongside current fare as a new programming genre, similar to what Netflix did with documentaries or stand-up specials. The company doesn't currently plan to charge extra for the content, so this is super interesting. So Netflix is, I guess, wanting to add games to their platform. And they're not planning on charging extra. Now, I mean, they say that, but I imagine that at some point, like before or shortly after, we're probably going to get another price hike. But yeah, it doesn't explicitly say in the article, but I would imagine that this is them trying to get into the streaming game. So, similar to like Google Stadia or like Xbox xCloud or PlayStation Now or Amazon Luna, all these various different streaming platforms that are out there. But I mean, I would say that Netflix probably has a good chance of making it work, especially if they're just going to be adding it into their subscription service and there isn't going to be any extra fees. Like, yeah, this might end up working. And it also noted somewhere in the article, I probably should have saved this part of it, but they are hiring game developers, so it seems like they're going to look into developing their own games. They're probably going to get third-party games in there as well. Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, Netflix already kind of has games on their platform because they did that Black Mirror thing where you could choose your own adventure. They did that I think season 1 of Minecraft story mode is like fully playable in Netflix, although it's kind of like a downgraded version of it. Like you can't like move around like you could in the Telltale game. It's kind of like I think it limits it to like the choosing to the decision making, but it's like, in my opinion, once you start interacting with media, it's a video game. Like if I can impact what is going on, I think it is a video game. That's just my opinion. But so, like, in my opinion, Netflix already has games. And, they've also, like, they're not completely inexperienced in gaming because they have like, Stranger Things games. I don't know. I think they had what is it, Dark Crystal, like, turn-based, like, strategy game that they made. So they have made games, or at the very least like hired developers to make games for them. So yeah, this seems like an interesting move. Like I do think that streaming is the future for gaming. It's really just a matter of like, is that going to be in the next 5 years, in the next 10 years, or in the next 15 years? But Netflix getting into it is definitely something that could speed up the process. So we'll just have to see how it goes. Next story, Loki season 2 has been announced. So very minor spoilers for the last episode of Loki. Basically, the mid-credits scene confirmed that there's going to be a Loki season 2. And this is the first MCU show that has a confirmed second season. I kind of assumed that Falcon and the Winter Soldier would get a second season, but now I'm not too sure because they're making Captain America 4 with Anthony Mackie, so I guess it would be kind of weird if we got a Falcon and the Winter Soldier season 2. WandaVision seems like it's just going to be a limited series. How do you even make a season 2 out of WandaVision? So, yeah, Loki's getting a season 2. No spoilers, but if you saw episode 6, it kind of sets up a season 2. Although when I was initially watching it, I was like, is this gonna get like wrapped up in another movie? Who knows? But it seems like it's gonna get wrapped up in season 2 itself, so that will be interesting to see. Now, there's also something that I read in an article by the Hollywood Reporter. Like, this isn't what the article was about, but I'm gonna add this into the story here. There's just a line that said, Hiddleston's Loki character is also expected to appear in the next Doctor Strange. Marvel has yet to confirm whether or not that's happening. That's really weird. That's just like a weird line to add in an article. Because this isn't like the Hollywood Reporter like reporting this in the title of the article. It was just kind of thrown in there, but at the same time, you know, the Hollywood Reporter is one of the, you know, premier sources for movie news. Like, generally speaking, if sources like the Hollywood Reporter or like Deadline are reporting something, or Variety, like, you can pretty much take it to the bank. So that's just an interesting thing. I don't think we've ever heard of Loki being in Doctor Strange 2, but, you know, if you've seen Loki, then you can kind of imagine, like, it would not be a stretch for Loki to show up in Doctor Strange 2. So just, I guess, keep an eye on that possibility. So, okay, we're getting into the last story of the day, and this story will contain spoilers for the season finale of Loki. So get out of here if you haven't seen the season finale, because this new story is just very much about the season finale. So, giving you a chance, leave, exit the video, for I am about to spoil it in 3, 2, 1. It was him. It was Kang. Kang was here. Kang showed up. It was actually Kang. Yeah, that's just that's the last news story. I just kind of want to talk about Kang being in Loki. Kang the Conqueror. He's here. He's there. He's everywhere. Apparently, multiple versions of him. So, but yeah, I just kind of wanted to talk about Kang and how cool. Oh wait, I forgot to change to the thing. I did not think that. I'll be honest. I didn't think that Kang was going to show up, because I feel like with Falcon and the Winter Soldier and WandaVision, I kind of just got accustomed to not getting my hopes up for characters like this. I kind of got accustomed to just being like, nope. Like any, like, you know, characters that fans speculate, like really big characters appearing out of nowhere. I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't buy that Kang is gonna be behind all of this. I think it's just going to be like another Loki variant, or it's going to be like Ravonna Renslayer. But no, it was Kang. And I do think that it's cool that it's Kang, because for a few reasons. Because I think that one of the big things that keeps these MCU shows as, you know, as popular and in the zeitgeist as they are is the speculation. Like, I think the speculation of WandaVision, of like, what's going on? What's actually happening here? Like, that kept the show fresh for a lot of us. I think, not to a lesser extent, Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but even with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, there was like the whole power broker thing. And then, you know, with Loki, a lot of it was like, who's behind all of this? Is it Kang the Conqueror? And I think having the payoff of it be Kang is cool, because it tells us that, like, no, there is stuff to pick apart about these shows. There is stuff to speculate about within these shows. And it's not for nothing, because sometimes they are going to pay off. And I will say that with Kang the Conqueror, it is a little different, because there was, like, definite evidence pointing towards Kang. Like, you had the middle statue of the Timekeepers that kind of looked like Kang and kind of looked like Jonathan Majors. And you had Ravonna Renslayer, who in the comics is the wife of Kang. So you did have like actual evidence pointing towards Kang, as opposed to like Mephisto, where there were people that was like, oh, there was the book that kind of looks like the Mephisto book. Oh, it's gonna be Mephisto. And then, you know, it wasn't Mephisto at all. There was no real reason to believe it was Mephisto. I don't even who did people think the power broker was going to be? I don't even remember, but with Kang, there was actual evidence. So I think it's good for the future of Marvel shows that they that these this speculation actually lead to something sometimes, because I think it makes the viewing experience fun knowing that speculation about it is actually worthwhile and may lead to something. But even more than that, they introduced Kang, which kind of seems like is going to be the next big bad for the MCU, like the next Thanos-esque figure. I don't know if that's actually the case, or if there's going to be something else who although I don't know who else it could be, because this guy's dealing with all of time and all of the multiverse. So I don't know who else it could really be. It kind of seems like it's going to be Kang, and it's a pretty big deal that they're introducing him in a Disney Plus show. It's just Marvel continuing to solidify that these Disney Plus shows are important and you need to pay attention to them. So yeah, that is going to be the end of this week's episode of Nerdy Movie News Roundup. If you enjoyed it, please let me know in the comments down below. Let me know about any and all of these stories, your thoughts of them. Did I say anything that you thought was stupid? If that's the case, let me know in the comments. Tell me how stupid I am. Dislike the video if that's what you want to do, if you want to go that far. If you have that much hate in your soul, in your heart, just let it all out for me in the comments down below, and I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.